I'd been backpacking across the states in 2019 on a break from my dreadful office job back home in Manchester. You know, one of those find yourself solo trips people romanticize. I'd been hiking through Colorado, saw Estes Park on a travel forum, and thought, oh, that's where the Stanley is, the haunted Stanley. It was one of those impulsive, slightly dumb decisions. Book a night, see what happens. Get a spooky story to tell at the pub back home. I didn't actually believe in ghosts, not really. I mean, we've all watched The Shining, right? But movies are movies. I checked in on September 19th, 2019, just after 5 p.m. The place was stunning. I'll give it that. Big colonial-style building, all white with red roofing, glowing in the sunset. I got chills walking up the steps, but I figured it was just the mountain air. Receptionist gave me this polite but slightly weird smile when I told her I was staying solo. She handed me the key, actual metal key, not a card, and said, if you need anything tonight, don't hesitate to call. Odd, but okay. They put me in room 401. Apparently, it's one of the more famously haunted rooms. Guests report hearing children laughing, items moving on their own, weird cold spots. I wasn't too worried. I'm a light sleeper. I figured I'd either laugh it off or have a mildly creepy night. I spent the evening wandering the grounds, taking photos, joining a small hotel tour, drinking in all the local ghost lore. Everyone on the tour seemed giddy, almost tipsy on the thrill of maybe seeing something. Me? I was more focused on the architecture, the history. It's easy to forget this was once a retreat for the rich, not just some haunted tourist trap. Around 11 p.m., I went back to my room. I remember pausing in the hallway outside 401, hand on the door handle, feeling this weird heaviness. Not like fear, more like the air itself was dense, like when you're underwater too long and your lungs start to burn. I brushed it off. Long day, altitude, probably just tired. Inside, the room was cozy, sloped ceilings, an old fireplace, antique furniture. I took a hot shower, texted a few friends back home, got into bed, and then, sometime past midnight, I jolted awake. No idea why. I lay there in the dark, heart racing, ears straining. Nothing. No sounds, no lights, just that heavy dark pressing in on all sides. I reached over, turned on the bedside lamp, and that's when I noticed it. The closet door. It was open. I swear to you, hand on heart. I'd closed it before bed. I always do. I can't sleep with open doors, but now it was wide open, black as pitch inside. I sat up, trying to calm my breathing. Maybe housekeeping hadn't latched it properly. Maybe the old building shifted. A slow, deliberate creak from the bathroom door. Not a random noise, not pipes. I froze. My skin was prickling, my scalp tightening, that primal feeling like something was watching me. I climbed out of bed slowly, every step like wading through molasses. I went to the bathroom door, pushed it open. Nothing. I turned back, and that's when I saw it. The closet. Not only was it open, there was a handprint on the inside of the door. It was faint, like a smudge in dust. 5 long fingers, smeared downward, like someone had dragged their hand down the wood. I'm not proud of this, but I grabbed my bag, shoved on my shoes, and bolted. Down the hallway, past the old portraits lining the walls, all those silent, watching faces. I didn't care that it was nearly 1 a.m. I didn't care if I looked like a madwoman. I just needed to get out. I reached the front desk, breathless, trying to explain. The night clerk, this older woman with sharp eyes, just nodded slowly. She said, "We hear that a lot from 401. She gave me a different room for the night. No fuss. And you know what the worst part was? I went back the next morning to grab the rest of my stuff from 401. The closet door was closed, perfectly closed, no handprint. I stood there, bag slung over my shoulder, staring at that door, wondering if I'd imagined everything. But deep down, I know I didn't. Me and Mia, my girlfriend, we were just 2 Aussies on our dream trip across the states, you know? We'd been saving for this for years, hitting all the places we'd seen on TV, New York, LA, Vegas. But the one thing we were really hyped for? The Stanley Hotel in Colorado. You know the place. Hell, anyone into spooky stuff knows the place. Stephen King stayed there. They say that's where The Shining was born. People report all sorts of weird shit. Footsteps, shadows, voices. I mean, it's basically a haunted playground. We were obsessed. We couldn't not go. So yeah, October 12th, 2017, we drive up this winding mountain road, and there it is. The Stanley. First impression? Massive. Like, it looms at you. Whitewashed walls, dark red roof, giant wraparound porch. And the mountains, mate, they're just there, pressing in behind it, like the whole hotel is being cradled by something ancient. I remember getting this weird flicker in my chest, just standing there looking at it. Mia, too. She squeezed my hand and laughed, but her voice was tight, you know? Like we were excited, but something deep down was already whispering, "Don't go in." We checked in late afternoon. We'd scored room 217. Yeah, that room 217. The receptionist gave us this weird little smile when she handed over the key. "Have fun," she said. Have fun. Mate, if I could go back, I'd slap that key right back on the counter. We dumped our bags, took a quick look around. Room was old school fancy. Big 4-poster bed, fireplace, antique desk. It even smelled old, you know? That sweet, dusty smell, like old books and something just a bit off. We explored the hotel, took photos, joined one of those cheesy ghost tours. And honestly, nothing scary. We were goofing around, poking at the stories, not taking anything seriously. It wasn't until we got back to the room that things shifted. It was after midnight. I was on the bed flipping through the TV channels. Nothing good on, just staticky American sitcoms. And Mia was in the bathroom brushing her teeth. I remember feeling this weird heaviness, like the room had thickened. Hard to explain, like the air was pressing in on me. Then, flicker. The bedside lamp dimmed, popped back up, dimmed again. I frowned, sat up. "Mia, you seeing this?" She poked her head out, toothbrush hanging from her mouth, eyes narrowing. The lamp flickered again, and this time the bathroom light joined in. Pulse, diamond soins bright, diamond soins slow, steady, like a heartbeat. I swear, at first we thought, old building, dodgy wiring, right? We were trying to laugh it off. Mia snapped on her phone flashlight, grinning nervously. But then, snap, the lights went dead. Not just dim, dead. That was the first time my stomach dropped, because the TV stayed on. I remember turning slowly, looking at the screen. And mate, I can't explain this, but the screen had gone to static. And in the static, there was movement. Not random fuzz, but like a shape, kind of pulsing in and out. Almost like someone was leaning toward the screen, trying to press through. I jumped up, grabbed the remote, flicked it off. The room fell into this thick silence. Mia whispered, "Let's get out of here." We slipped into the hallway, phones lighting our way, and this is where shit really started feeling wrong. The hallway, you gotta picture this, was long, carpeted, lined with old framed photos. But the moment we stepped out, it was silent. Not just quiet, silent. No creaks, no hum of pipes, no distant voices. Just nothing. Like the whole hotel had frozen. We started walking, whispering to each other, laughing nervously, trying to brush it off, you know? But as we passed this big old mirror on the wall, Mia stopped. "Did you see that?" she whispered. I turned. In the mirror, it was just us. But behind us, there was another reflection. A third figure, standing perfectly still, just behind Mia. I felt my chest seize up. My skin went cold. I spun around. No one there. We bolted, down the staircase, through the empty lobby. We hit the front doors, shoved them open, and burst out into the freezing mountain air. We stood there on the porch, shaking, gasping. The sky was clear, the stars blindingly bright. And then, without thinking, I turned back. I looked up at our window. And there in the window of room 217 was a silhouette, perfectly still, staring down at us. We had the keys. The room was locked. No one should have been there. We waited outside till dawn, huddled together, teeth chattering, nerves shot. The sun crept up over the mountains, and that was when we finally, shakily, went back in, packed our bags, and left. We didn't speak to the staff. We didn't tell anyone. We just left. To this day, I don't know what we saw. Was it a ghost? A shadow person? Something older? But I do know one thing. There are places on this earth that hold memories. Places that watch you back.